Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are having a super awesome day. I am coming to you from our segment Life Enchanted, and I am Takela Swain. Today, I want to talk about the concept of whose report do you believe? I remember as a child, one of the songs that we used to sing was, "Whose report do you believe? We shall believe the report of the Lord." And we would repeat that 3 times. Then it will move over into the chorus, which says, "His report says I am healed. His report says I am filled. His report says I am free. His report says victory." And I know that that song has been singing and resonating in my mind and thought process these last couple of days as we are all facing different stages of life as it relates to the coronavirus. I know I think it was last week I shared with you guys that I wanted to come to you and share you some really great news about something that has happened for me. And so I was all gun ho to come and share the information. And then I believe it was this week, it had to have been this week, I received an email that sort of put a halt to all of that. I had applied to a new venture and as it relates to a career path, and I was so excited about it. It was something I had thought about years ago but never really fully ventured into it. But now that I'm on a new path of life, I actually had the time and the opportunity to do so. So I applied, got a quick response, went to the second tier, got a really great response, went to the third tier, and got hired on the spot. So I was so excited, like, oh, this new venture is coming about in my life. This is going to open up new opportunities for me and my family and friends and things like that. It's going to be so super awesome. And then this week we received an email that says that due to the effects of the coronavirus and trying to be safe in X, Y, and Z, that we're actually going to put a halt on our training as well as our hiring process, and that they will get in contact with us after all of this has blown over, and we will move forward from there. And so I was like, oh Lord, here we go. Like, I was so excited and ready to share of the good news and how awesome that it was going to be. And then I received something like that. And so, of course, in thinking about that, thoughts begin to come to your mind like, oh Lord, you're about to start this new venture, which means that now you're going to have a reduction in income and things of that nature. And so, of course, during that time, all of a sudden, other people start receiving the same thing. And they're just like, wow, now we're going to have a reduction in our income. How exactly is that going to affect our households and things of that nature? And so a thought came about, but then as time went on, the thought began to increase. It's just like, okay, how are you going to take care of certain things? And I'm like, I'm really blessed. God has allowed me to pay off like a lot of things in my life. And so I have minimal things that I have to pay for, but still there are things that help your life to continue to flow and function. And as this change came about, I was just like, wow, now it's going to affect one of the resources that were coming in, and that's going to affect how I'm going to be able to reach out and do different things that I want to do. And so as the thought continued to brew, I realized that what it was beginning to become was an element of fear. And I know a couple of months ago, you guys may have watched the video. If not, I'm going to tag it up here so you can go back and watch it. But we talked about how fear indeed is a liar. And if we're not careful, we can take something as simplistic as a thought and enter it into our minds and continue to mold upon it, that it becomes a full-fledged fear. And so as I think about this epidemic that we're experiencing, and I think about the changes that is happening for all of our environment, a lot of people are choosing to err on the side of fear as opposed to err on the side of caution. And if we're not careful, we will find ourselves doing the same thing. But as I begin to talk to God about those things, I'm just like, okay, God, what exactly is this going to mean? This is affecting my household. How am I going to pay these different things? How am I going to do X, Y, and Z? And the thought came so strongly, whose report are you going to believe? Are you going to believe all the things that they're putting on our social media and media outlets that's like bombarding us 24 hours a day, that's trying to make us go into like a panic? Or are you going to believe what his word says? I believe that it is so significant that God had actually allowed this to happen during our lifetime. It could have happened 20 years before, it could have happened 20 years later, but for some reason it is happening now during this time in our lifetime, which is a significant thing. And so you have to ask yourself, why have God chosen for this to happen during this time? And if he has chosen for this to happen on this time, that means he have provided a way of escape for us so that we will not be singed by this fire, if you will, will that is here. So you have to begin to say, okay, whose report am I going to believe? And am I going to believe that God says that He is a God of more than enough and that He will supply every one of my needs? Am I going to believe that He is a God that not only provides physical needs but tangible needs that we need, but He also provides my spiritual needs? Am I going to believe that He's going to not allow those things to come now my dwelling, which means that yes, a virus could be in my environment, but doesn't mean that I'm going to contract it? Am I going to choose to stand upon His word and promises, or am I going to choose to stand upon what the media is saying is going to happen and we have to act now, we have to do all these things? Yes, you have to be cautious, you have to use wisdom, of course, in all you're getting, get understanding. So you're going to do the things that they're asking you to do, as it says, like washing hands and protecting things of that nature. But you're also going to make sure that you're also protecting your soul and your mind. You have to tell yourself, am I going to believe everything that goes through my eye gate? Because everything that goes through your eye gate does not need to go to your heart. Everything that goes through your ear does not need to focus in on your mind. You have to set certain boundaries so that you will not become victim to these things that are happening in our environment. And so I had to tell myself, Takela, you have to stand on the faith. We're not going to bulk under this element and bulk into the element of fear. We're going to stand on the faith and knowing that my God is more than enough, that His stripes said, indeed, I'm healed, that the weapon can be formed, but it's not going to come nigh my dwelling, that He has given me more than enough, and anything that I'm in need of, He said, all I have to do is ask. And so instead of trying to focus in on as to why it's happening at this time, what I need to do to try to focus in on all these elements, I'm choosing to live in faith and love and look at His word and realize that He has not given me more than I can bear, and He's going to enable me to not only to go through the situation, but I'm going to grow through the situation. So I'm inviting you to also grow through this situation that's occurring in our lives. Don't allow other people's fears to attach itself to you and cause you to go into a panic. Allow your faith to override your fear so that you can stand on the word of God and knowing that He is going to put a lamp unto our feet and a light in our path. He's going to give us inventive ideas and concepts. He's going to help us to grow and to be stronger through this situation, so that as it passes over, and it will pass over, that we're going to be more accomplished and more ahead than what it was before it began. So I ask you guys to stay in that path of faith, allow fear to be stumped upon and not to be controlled in a controlling factor in your life, and allow yourself to continue to thrive into all the things that God has promised us. I thank you guys so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you guys soon.